Desert Diaries. Week 52. Hello, Arizona calling. So here we go. The final week of my first year in the desert. Blimey. Just a heads up, I'm going to do a special episode of the podcast for you on May the 5th, which will be a year to the day that we first arrived. A day late, of course, thanks to Ruddy Laptop Man. Remember him? Anyway, another week of lockdown in a furnace. Yes, this week someone turned the heat up to 11. In fact, it's been so hot, the State Weather Centre offered severe weather warnings, the earliest they've ever done this on record. Now, if you want to get down to the numbers, then this week we've seen highs of 41 or 105, as they say here. And it's meant that my husband, who was sitting outside on the porch all day to do his work, had to come and sit inside with the rest of us. Oh, good. As his laptop was overheating within about 10 minutes. I've been feeling very grateful for the pool this week, even with, well, a few incidents. Now, sometimes something happens that just reminds me of just how much life has changed, and it kind of happens when I least expect it. Yesterday was a case in point. I was having a coffee in front of a massive fan on the porch when the Manchester-born and raised shy 8-year-old runs over and says, "Mummy, there was a dead rat in the pool, but I scooped it out with a pool net and I threw it over the wall into the desert so a coyote can have it for its dinner." Desert living's gonna do that to you. There have been more adventures in wildlife this week as well. The heat has driven the local fauna crazy. A huge gopher snake was just chilling by our front door as we walked home last night. It's a bit of a shock when you're peering into the darkness and then you think, did that branch move? Is it a branch? Oh no, that'll be a snake. We came across another snaky boy, as my girls call them, in the middle of the road on a pitch black walk around Paradise Valley the night before as well. A beautiful red and black banded long-nosed snake. Not venomous, but I tell you what, there is something startling when you see them looming out of the darkness, lit only by the glow of the torch on your mobile phone. Also this week, I've done some afternoon pool soaking whilst watching the red-tailed hawk systematically try and kill all the other birds in our area to feed their chicks. I particularly feel for the family of thrashers in the palm tree next door who clearly built their nest before the hawks moved in right on their doorstep. I imagine them thrilled with their new home, feathering their nest. What a great location. Nice and safe. Oh, look, dear, we've got some new neighbours. Oh, no. Then have to take their life into their hands. Their life into their wings? I don't know what it would be. Every time they leave their nest to search for food. As soon as they fly off, the hawks swoop down, and it's been quite the terrifying soap opera. I'm really going to miss living around here. I do love the wildness of this neighbourhood. Like I said last week, you can feel like you're in the middle of the desert one minute and then be sipping a smoothie the next. I do love gawping at all the massive houses around as well. And we did consider staying in our falling down house, despite the cooker barely working, the water running brown for the first 5 minutes of a shower, the roof still leaking when it rains, and a whole host of other problems that are too tedious to go into. But just yesterday, our landlord sent us a letter out of the blue saying he was going to cut our water supply off. Yep, in 41-degree heat and in a pandemic. Why? Because the water services had sent him a bill in error instead of us. What? Now, you could get into the whole, he can't do that by law, it's clearly a mistake, we were fully paid up on our bills in the past, all of this, but as much as we love it here, I really am too old and too ugly, as my nanny used to say, for any of this nonsense. Or as my husband said, I really don't want to give him a penny more of our hard-earned money. So another adventure awaits after packing up an entire house. Again! Now, I don't know about you, but I felt like a caged lion this week. I do love where I live. I love going for my daily walks and my bike rides, which now have to be about 6:30 or late at night because it's boiling. But I have felt quite the urge to get in my car and just drive and drive. 2 spots I've been fantasising about are San Diego because, the ocean. And also, I want to head south again. The desert in that part of Arizona is breathtaking and awe-inspiring and all those other cliches that you realise are cliches because they're true. The road is definitely calling me. And it might not be too far away. The governor of Arizona, Doug Ducey, held a press conference on Wednesday this week to announce that lockdown's actually going to continue here another 2 weeks. A lot of people aren't happy about this at all. Now, it is true there have been a relatively low number of cases here compared with other states, and the financial pain a lot of small businesses are facing, and people as well, is just horrendous. I'm not sure that the huge parade, as one libertarian group are planning for Phoenix for this weekend, is really the show of strength that anyone should be going for now. I really hope there isn't a nasty spike in cases in a couple of weeks if they do go ahead, because so many healthcare officials are warning this will happen if it goes ahead. We'll have to wait and see. Listener Lynn got in touch with me on Twitter this week, at WalkerSam, and asked me what I'd started doing since I moved to America that I didn't used to do. This is really boring, but you know what first came into my head? Flossing. Now, you might be screaming right now and saying, ugh, Sam Walker, you didn't used to floss your teeth, but it's not just me, is it? Flossing isn't a big thing in the UK, is it? Was everyone doing it but me? I don't know. Do let me know. I wasn't until I took the girls to the dentist here and saw the look of complete horror on her face when she asked the girls how many times a day they flossed, and they said, "What's flossing?" I then realised how much a part of dental hygiene it is here. Brits having bad teeth is very much an accepted stereotype here in a world where most people I know have got Scooby-Doo smiles. You know what I mean? Not Scooby himself, but those smiles like cartoon characters, pure, white, straight, gleaming. I often feel a bit like Austin Powers whenever I open my gob around here. So, yeah, flossing is go. Most days. I do love your questions, so keep them coming in, please. You can find me on Instagram at Sam Walker Radio or on Facebook. Just search for Sam Walker's Desert Diaries and send me a snaps of where you're listening to. There is quite an album going on and I love it. Also, don't forget that special 1-year episode coming your way on Tuesday, May the 5th. Get subscribing now, as they say, wherever you get your podcasts. I'll see you in the desert.